All right, this is the Rm250 engine. It's a 1996. It's right here. If you clicked on my other video, you'd know that the water pump that I installed, it was fucked up basically, and that's from tapping it, and it kind of rolled. As you can see, I really wanted to get a new one. I was like, I should really just take this out while I have it and replace it. I was rethinking it, but I just never ended up doing it. And to my surprise, there's the oil. It's a milkshake. So that's kind of what you get for kind of risking it. But the water pump is inside the case on this one. And I'll show you right here on this YZ. Most of them, as you probably know, are on the outside. And all you have to do to replace the seal is take off this clutch cover case, which is really easy compared to splitting the whole bottom end like I have to do to this one. You can see I got everything laid out, all the parts. These are not the parts for the bike, obviously. I should honestly just move that, just so when I have videos, people aren't like, what the heck is all this stuff in the background? This is a 4.4-stroke 450, obviously. But yeah, I got everything laid out, so when I put it back together, it goes smoothly. Everything was good in the bottom end. I replaced the bearings before when I had this split before. But yeah, you can see the gears are all white and stuff, and yeah, got all gaskets here, crank bolts. Yeah, so that's pretty much just an update on where I'm at, because I wanted to give a little update of how it comes and taking it apart and what to do and stuff like that. So I didn't need a case splitter for this. All I have to do is tap it. Came out pretty easy. Some people prefer those case splitters, or sometimes you get a case that doesn't want to split. It's a lot harder. It's almost like stuck on there, but well, it's got no issues on the clutch cover side with all these gears. You can see all of them are good, and I rode this thing actually when it happened, because I didn't notice that it was bad till I brought it back. That's why I went for a test ride on it, and I knew once I saw that to not ride it anymore, because what happens is coolant's pretty much water, so you're pretty much asking to fry your bottom end bearings and possibly even like rust your crank and your bearings. Because what happened when I split this case, if you go on my Instagram, you could see the old bearings in there that I had. These are new, but the old ones were rusty, and you could hear in the bearing they were shot. And what that's from is the water, like I said, because it rusts those bearings, and it's really not good. So if you run engine with coolant getting into the oil, it's not a good idea. So I was like, all right, screw it, not gonna fuck up anything anymore, because I already got money into this thing. To have a blown crank or bearings, that's just throwing a shit ton of money at it. So literally all I gotta do is install that seal in that other case. Just pull that other one out somehow, press the new one in. Probably not with the press, because that tends to roll them. That's actually what happened with that one. When I tried pressing it lightly with the socket, it kind of rolled it. So the idea is to get like a socket that fits around it and lightly tap it, or I've seen videos of people just push it in with their finger. And then I can start putting everything back, and yeah, and then this thing is going to be done and ready to rip and ready to be sold. So it's a 1996 Rm250, and it's pretty much vintage now. I mean, 96. It's getting old now, but I did like so many things to this: the fork seals, carb clean, replaced the rear shock, painted the frame, just a bunch of stuff that's going to be in the description of the listing. So if you want to see this thing finished, go on my website and Instagram. It'll probably be done in like, I have to guess, probably a few weeks. I'm gonna knock this thing out, and I'll show you a look at the tires. They're not too bad. Got a new chain for it. It's a little restoration, so yeah. Once I get that engine back in, new oil, new coolant, clean this thing off, power wash it after I test it, detail it, list it up for sale, and this thing's another finished project for the records. And then after that, I got this YZ that's almost done. I gotta finish out finish up the brakes, both front and rear. This thing was like a project. It was missing nuts and bolts everywhere. Stator nut was gone. All the cylinder nuts I had to get. Had no spark. Had no oil drain. It was just whack, you know. But the reason I bought this thing is because everything was there. Like the main components, the carburetor. Had a pro circuit exhaust system. It had a new crank. It had like all these upgrades. Got a little sprocket cover here. So all I have to do is just little things. I figured out the electrical because the kill switch was grounded and out. And at the same time, that boot it had a weak connection. So I had to clean the terminal on that and put the, not the greaser, dielectric grease to make that connection stronger. So yeah, this is going to be a nice little bike here. It's a 2003. As you can see, the brake fluid's pretty bad, but like all these connectors were off and stuff because this guy definitely had the engine out when he did the crank, and he just threw it back in there trying to make it look complete or whatever and look like someone of a bike so that people would think it's a good deal. But I offered this guy, I'm like, 950 is the best I got because cylinder was off, but it came with it. So I was like, okay, that could be a good and bad sign. You know, so offered him 950. He's like, no, can't do it because I think we said 13. And then I was like, I would say the best I could do is $1,000 on this thing because it's missing so many things and the money that I'd have to put into it. And he's like, all right, we'll meet in the middle, 1,100. I was like, all right, I'll take it. He gave me a Rm2, which is great because I don't have one and I need one for my truck out there. So yeah, I picked this up for a deal, 1,100 for a YZ125, which is crazy now. Like, you can't find deals like that anymore. And if I had to guess, this thing will probably go for 2,700, around that range. I sold a 2004 for like 2,800, and it didn't even have like a new bottom end and top end. So that definitely adds value because people like low hours and rebuilds and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's it for the little update and video on this Suzuki and a little update on the YZ. So yeah, if you want to check out any of my other videos of me taking this engine out or kind of figuring out like what happened and when it happened, that's on my profile. I got videos, or I'm gonna have videos of it running, and then I got videos of this thing, figuring out the electrical on it and what I did and stuff like that. So definitely check my profile out. Check my Instagram. I get a lot of nice videos and edits on my Instagram. And my website has all the bikes I sold, the services I do, and stuff like that. These two are not services. These are my own project bikes. But I do services as well. And I'm in Connecticut. So if anyone needs a service, I usually get pretty busy in the winter. So that's around the corner. But summer, surprisingly, I'm usually not as busy because everyone's either got their bike ready, or it's just like, it's just not as busy because people in the winter want their bike ready for the summer. You know what I mean? Or that's at least my experience with it. But yeah, so that's it for the video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.